Hello there, Rodeo Ranger here, and I'm an old gamer. I've been playing all the latest games on computers since computers first came out. I started building custom gaming systems way back in the day when they first come out in the '80s, and I've always enjoyed the latest computer gear, and for the last 6 or 7 years, I've been using a mouse. It's called the R.A.T. 7. Here it is here. I'm going to give you a good look at it. It's made by Madcatz. Okay, and here's the bottom of it. Okay, and you can see the weight system down here near the bottom. It's a centralized weight system. I've been using that R.A.T. 7 mouse now, like I said, for 6 or 7 years, and in all that time, I've always been trying the latest, greatest computer mice that have come on the market, looking for something better. I heard a lot about this Rival 600 gaming mouse by. It's a Steel Series gaming mouse, and here's a good look at it here, if you can see it. And it has all kinds of fancy RGB lighting built into the mouse, which is kind of cool, I guess. It doesn't help your gaming play at all. But, and there's a look here at the bottom of this mouse. Okay. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Steel Series mouse. Now, it has TrueMove 3 Plus, what they call it, Advanced Dual Optical Sensor System, featuring true one-to-one tracking and world's lowest liftoff detection. It has a weight system as well. It has reinforced split trigger mouse buttons with Steel Series dual action 60 million click mechanical switches. It looks pretty impressive. As you can see on the box, you remove the sides of the mouse and the little magnetic weights go in the sides on either side. So they're not in the center of the mouse, they're on the sides. And you can unplug the cord, which is kind of a nice option, I guess. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but they've made it so you can do that. And this mouse here, I just wanted to show you. This mouse has two sensors, so I think I mentioned that, but I just wanted to make sure that was clear. It has two sensors. So I put that up against my, I don't know if you can see this here, my beloved R.A.T. 7 6400 DPI. So I have a few things to say about this. First of all, I don't play any games with my mouse setting higher than 1600 DPI. There's no reason for it because your actual control that I use anyways for gaming, I set the mouse sensitivity in each game that I want. And the 1600 DPI with the Windows setting of the mouse cursor right in the center for speed, and then using DPI, 1600 will move the mouse across the screen just fine. Lots of easy tracking. And so here's the thing. When you're buying a mouse, it's all, people are going to talk about DPI and sensors and all this stuff. But what it really boils down to is that mouse gonna fit your hand? Is it gonna feel good in your hand? Because there's two types of two ways you can hold on to your mouse. You can hold on to it with the claw method, which a lot of gamers do, or the palming method, which I do. And from time to time, I like to lift my mouse off of the pad to readjust when I'm gaming. And I actually game at 1200 DPI, and then I set my adjustments in the game the way I want it. Now, what I found with the SteelSeries mouse. I found it very accurate. But was it more accurate than my 6400 DPI RAT7 mouse at 1200 DPI? I couldn't tell any difference. I couldn't feel any difference. I couldn't tell any difference. What I did notice was the RAT7, probably because I've been using it so long, it just feels better in my hand. It's a lot heavier. It's a lot flatter on the bottom. You know, here's a good look at the bottom of these mice. RAT7 is on my left and the SteelSeries is on my right. You see how... Now, another thing is, you see where the thumb button is on the RAT7? You can adjust this. I want to make sure you see this nice and clearly. Okay, this right here. I can actually move that out from the mouse for a wider grip. You see that? I can actually, I'm going to show you here. I got to get my... I can move the handle grip back and forth for a longer grip. You see that? Right here. I can adjust that and it clicks into place. Nobody's ever made a mouse that's built better than this with a solid steel bottom. Look at this. And the weight's in the center. And these mice still work perfectly under all the new Windows 10's updates, the Fall Creators Edition. You may have to make sure you do not have Secure Boot enabled, EUFI it's called. That may inhibit some of your USB, the way they work. But other than that, and the cord on this mouse. Nobody makes a better cord than this. It's a reinforced cord. So what I did was I wanted to be fair in this test. So here's the SteelSeries. You can't adjust anything. You can't adjust the width. You can't adjust the height. You can't adjust the length. What you get is what you get. Your hand has to like it or lump it. So what I didn't like, I don't know if you can see here. This is the thumb buttons here. It's curved in too much. So to control both buttons, you have to be careful you don't click one or the other. The other thing is, do you notice the center click wheel? When I was using this, I kept accidentally hitting that wheel, rolling it, and changing weapons, which in some games like Rainbow Six Siege, you can't undo that. So you're making mistakes in the game for no reason. The way the wheel is right there, it's just too easy to move, and you can't disable it. At least in Rainbow Six Siege, anyways. Now, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with this mouse, and I'm not. I don't get no sponsorship from anybody. I buy these accessories myself, and I try them out. I test them out. I'm a huge fan of SteelSeries. I have their headset here. I've been using it for years with the pull-out mic, and I use a Logitech keyboard, a mechanical keyboard. So whatever is best for me, I don't care who makes it as long as it's best for me. But I wanted to try this SteelSeries mouse, and I have to admit, if this is what you're looking for this is accurate. It's just as accurate, if not more accurate, I guess, than some mice. But for my money, I'm going to hold these up now. For my money, my RAT7 is the greatest gaming mouse ever built. Bar none. All the adjustments, the precise aiming dial you see right here, the way I can move the thumb out, the distance out from the mouse, The way I can move the handle grip back and forth and slide it around. And I like the center weight system. I don't know why you need weights on both sides of a mouse. I guess if it's tippy a little bit, this has got the R.A.T mouse has such a huge flat bottom. That's something you don't have to worry about it tipping. It's not going to tip. So there you have it. Now, just in comparison, also be aware that the specs on the SteelSeries mouse are really good. 12,000 DPI, dual sensors. It's $80. The R.A.T 7 mouse is going to cost you more. I think they're going right now for about $139. But you know what? In 7 years, I just got my second new R.A.T 7 mouse. And that's gaming a lot. I'm retired. I retired 15 years ago. And I game almost every day. So I used one R.A.T 7 mouse in almost 7 years. Finally, one of the little the clickers, the left click, it started sticking a little bit. So I tried to adjust it, and I screwed it up. You know, I tried to adjust the little plastic thing you push on. I tried to bend it a little bit. This is not a good idea. So I got another new mouse. But what I did was, I went out and I bought 2 R.A.T 7s. Because I'm trying to get this other mouse up here. There we go. Because there's no way I want to live without my R.A.T 7. So I've got at least, I'm thinking another 14 or 15 years of using the best mouse ever created by man. Now, I'm going to tell you, Madcatz went out of business in 2016, or 2017, sorry. And that made the R.A.T 7. But another group of people, I guess, they've bought the company name Madcatz, and they've created a whole new line of products. They're not making the R.A.T 7 anymore. They make the R.A.T 6 Plus and the R.A.T 8 and the R.A.T 4. And so they're not supporting the R.A.T 7. But the drivers that are available, they work just fine. And it's a very good driver setup. As far as the software goes for the R.A.T 7 mouse, programming the buttons, there's never been a better software. I can do macros for my mouse, so I can have one button do what 3 or 4 clicks on the keyboard would do. Do you see what I'm saying? So, you know, the software is just awesome. So I'd like to give a shout out to the new Madcatz company. Come on, guys. Let's get some new drivers made. Keep up with the drivers and everything in the software for the old Madcatz product. Just don't leave us guys hanging. I know you don't want the liability of supplying new drivers down the road, but you know what? We won't need any new drivers unless there's a new Windows system that comes out that doesn't recognize the Windows 10 drivers. But, you know, it would be nice to have the new company support the older products. So anyways, that's my side-by-side comparison. The R.A.T 7 versus the SteelSeries Rival 600, 6400 DPI, solid mouse, steel bottom, no fancy RGB lighting. The SteelSeries, 12,000 DPI, some really, really nice fancy RGB lighting that won't help your gaming, but it looks really cool. And it's got these dual sensors, but you know what? I don't need it, and I'm going to stick with my R.A.T 7 as long as I can have a R.A.T 7. This is the only gaming mouse I need and ever will need. So that's it for my comparison. Now I want to do, before I go, let me read some specs on my R.A.T 7 here quick. I'll have to throw my glasses on, so please excuse me. So here's what it says about the R.A.T. 7. And of course, they'd have to make the writing so small. It's got 18 user-definable commands via 6 programmable buttons over 3 modes. So, you know, there's just so much programming available for the R.A.T. 7. The precision aim button enables on-the-fly sensitivity adjustment. The SteelSeries doesn't have that. There's no precision aim button. Custom length and thumb area adjustments. Downloadable software, well, they have all got that. Interchangeable pinky and palm rests to suit your grip style. Who does that? Who sends out a mouse with a box? And here's the here's the container that came with my R.A.T. 7. Look at this. A beautiful gold steel box. And inside, let's have a look. All your extra grips for adjusting for your hand. So yeah, you're going to pay a little more for a R.A.T. 7, but you know what? If you're like me when it comes to gaming, I don't want to compromise on my mouse. And I don't want to compromise on my keyboard. That's why I use a Logitech G910 mechanical keyboard. You know, and I'll do another comparison with my keyboard later on. But anyways, if you're looking for a new mouse, and I don't work for this company, and if they want to send me the R.A.T. 6 and their new R.A.T. 8 mice to compare, I'm glad to do it for them. But for me right now, the R.A.T. 7 is the greatest mouse ever made. Hope you enjoyed my comparison. Until next time, Rodeo Ranger, over and out.